All right, how's it going, everybody? We're here for Cash Game and Must Have Talk here. How are you doing, Eric?
Good, not too bad. Looking to rebound from last week's 3-6 cash lineup that we produced. Although it still competed, it wasn't what we're looking for. So hopefully we can
No.
get 5-6, 6-6 through this week.
Yeah, missing Mickelson and Reeve and Senden really hurt, but somehow I was able to win one of my three head-to-heads that I put in that lineup that we built here. Somehow. But
Yeah, I think that Patrick Reed finish definitely. Like if he won, I would have been in a lot better shape, but didn't make a putt coming home.
Yeah, my main cash lineup got 5-6, so I did not bad there. I had Baddeley, Kutcher, McGirt, Steele, Summerhays, and then whiffed on Michael Thompson totally on that one. So, but
Yeah,
5-6 was easy enough to cash in all the 50-50s.
No, Steve, I'm with you.
Yeah, yeah, very high bridge.
Yeah, I can't really expect that to happen from Mickelson. I don't know. Can't really explain it. Thought he definitely was a fantastic play, but we'll move on. We'll hold a grudge against him for a while. And
was pretty happy with Brendan Steele last week, coming in under 10% across most of the cash games I was in. That was awesome. But yeah, ready for another week. So looks like we're very top heavy kind of, and not a lot of guys at the bottom, which is kind of perfect for cash games, sitting in that seven to high 7, low 8 range. So should be good this week.
So we'll start with the 5-digit guys here. We got Jason Day, Justin Rose, Ricky Fowler, Charlie Hoffman, and Horschel. Oh, and Berger. So there's 6 guys, I believe, ranked 10,000 or above. For me, and I think for a lot of the people, it'll be Justin Rose in cash games. Just seems like a pretty safe bet to have a top 15. He's came top 15 here 4 years in a row. He checks out in all the major stats, and his recent form is superb. So you get a little bit of savings off Jason Day, and just like extremely safe. It's a good way to start, and I still think you can build a pretty balanced lineup even with Justin Rose at the top. What are your thoughts on the top guys there?
100% agree. That's the first guy that I went to. He kind of checks all the boxes this week. Like you said, he's right up there in stats. Crushes the par 5s, top 10 in birdie or better, which this week, your average finish is like minus 19, minus 20. You're gonna see a lot of birdies this week, so that's going to be good for your bonuses on DraftKings. So birdies or better is going to be huge this week. He's top 10 in tee to green, like you said, with a tournament history and current form. So he's definitely the first guy I went to and built some actually pretty balanced lineups that I'm quite comfortable with for cash games and head-to-heads both this week.
Yeah, I quickly want to go over like some of the stats that I'm looking at. Our strokes gains tee to green, proximity from 125 to 150, and as well as like the longer proximities from 200 plus, and par 4 and par 5 scoring averages and birdie or better. All the par 3s, I believe, are over 200 yards, and then there's also some shorter par 4s where the guys will have some shorter wedge shots in. So those ranges are going to be crucial for making birdies, like you said. That the scores get pretty high here, so definitely want those guys to make birdies. And I've heard that these greens they're not like super tough to putt on. So any guys who are hitting greens in regulation will have chances at making a lot of putts. Depending, it doesn't really matter. Well, I guess it kind of does, but if they have a good track record of good putting or not, just kind of something I'm not really looking at this week.
Yeah, the putting
it will help if there's like if it's a deciding factor. It might go with a better putter.
Yeah, exactly. It's not weighted heavily like it usually is for me. I weight putting a little more when it comes to GPPs more than cash. Kind of you look at those guys that can make those putts are the ones that are going to win the tournaments. But definitely agree with you on tee to green, par 4s and 5s, birdie and better, and those proximity. 5 of the par 4s are under 403, and 5 of them are over 476. So it's nothing really in the middle there. So it's interesting, and like you said, all 4 par 3s are 200 plus. So definitely that proximity from 200 plus and the 125 to 150 definitely are ones to look at. My next guy in that 5-figure range, the only other guy I'm really looking at for cash is going to be Billy Horschel. He's coming in with really good form lately. He's kind of alternated 26 miscut, one here in 2013, and then missed a cut, and then 48th last year. But just with the form that he's got right now, he's one that I'll consider for cash as well. How about yourself?
Yeah, I don't find myself. I just plug in Justin Rose and then go down and go bargain hunting. But I can get on the Billy Horschel wagon there. Yeah, his current form and his history here. Anytime you have a past winner and coming in with good form is definitely encouraging. But I
He's
just
got
I
he's
just
got
go
that
Justin Rose, and that's
for sure. That's kind of what I'm going with too.
yeah.
Looking at Horschel, I like his proximity. He's at top 20 from the 125 to 150 range, and then you get to that 200 plus, and he's 22nd. So he's got that for him, and at birdie or better, he's top 50 too. So, but like you said, I'm starting my cash game this week. My main one with Justin Rose. So coming up later, I
Yeah,
guess it's who.
I definitely think Billy's a good GPP play. Pivoting off. I don't think Charlie Hoffman's going to be highly owned anywhere. I think I don't know if people are sick of him. They were riding him until he got his win, and now they're done. I'm not sure what to expect, but I'm off of him this week.
And Ricky Fowler's up there. I mean, he's first in par 4 and par 5, up there in birdie or better. I just not his course. He's missed the cut here the last 2 years. He missed the cut at the Masters.
Still hungover.
Still hungover from a Snapchat holiday there. that looked
I don't know.
like a lot of fun. But I think that could be good for a lot of those guys. To get away, especially after being disappointed at the Masters, getting away from that, from all the media and stuff, and just kind of, reset and get back at it. So he could be loaned because of that Masters there and people remembering that, but I think he's a good GPP play for sure.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. That whole trip had Ricky, who had a terrible Masters the first week, his first round of 80 or whatever. The way Spieth lost, I mean, he could relieve some steam, and then Smiley's 80 in the fourth round, the final round. That was an interesting. I mean, all those guys kind of had their ups and downs at the Masters, so it was a good time for that trip, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think for the top for the 5-digit guys, Rose, and then you go down. That's my approach this week at least.
Yeah, great GPP plays up there, but for cash, definitely going down the next level after Rose.
Especially in these kind of shallower fields, some of these high 9,000, low 10,000 guys, they're not typically this price, so there's obviously going to be some question marks with their game coming in, regardless of their price. So I just feel like you take your safest play at the top, and then
there's enough
Chris
guys in that
Durrell and Smiley Kaufman. These guys, obviously they're fantastic golfers, but for cash purposes, I'm not sure if they're necessary to be put in their lineups.
No, I think.
Oh, you like all the Smiley, eh?
All the Smiley, yeah.
Really?
I've got him in some head-to-heads, not in 50-50, so he's just a little overpriced for me for 50-50s, but head-to-heads I think he may be a little under-owned. Good play. He kind of covers a lot of the stats, coming in with nice form, but mostly GPP and head-to-heads.
Tim, I'll answer your question. This week, it's not like there's a ton of scrubs in the $7,000 range, so it's almost like pick your star and then go find your cut makers. I definitely wouldn't recommend 2 guys in the $10,000 range and then trying to build a cash lineup like that. But yeah, just go Rose, and then like Eric said, then just go shopping in the $7,000 range, and I think you can build a pretty good cash lineup that way.
Yeah. And if you want to pivot off Rose and go, if you want to go even more balanced, I mean, you can. I think Charles Howell, I know he's on actually my main lineup with Rose, so he's one I consider at 8,700 to get in that 8K range. But then every other guy I've got is in 7 that went with him.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you can pay up for Howell, Leishman. I haven't tried getting Kaufman in a cash lineup with Rose, but it's probably doable. There's some guys in the 6,000 range, like we'll get to later, but David Toms gives you some great cash relief.
Yeah, you can feel comfortable too.
Yeah. it's a definitely tighter pricing this week than I've maybe seen in the past. Last week there was like 20 guys from 7,000 to 9,000, and this week I feel like everyone in the field 7,000.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on Mark Leishman? Because he was my like kind of first guy in that range that like I clicked on.
Yeah, he covers a lot.
I just see his stats kind of match up really well for this course, and he's got some maybe not the best current form, but he came 28th here last year. Last year was kind of a tough year for him with his wife, which was the big story. She was sick or battling something, so maybe a little distracted. But I like his stats this year coming in, and at 9,100, I think he's definitely a good option if you want to pivot off Howell and just pay up a bit more.
Yeah, I got him pegged as well. I'm going to build a lineup later, kind of as we're doing this, and see how it goes. But I've got on my cheat sheet right now Leishman and Howell and Kaufman kind of rated 1, 2, 3 there. I'm going to try and use 2 of them and start a cash lineup and see how it looks versus my one starting with Rose. So all 3 of those are definitely there for cash for me this week.
Yeah, and kind of in this 8,000 range there's a lot of question marks again. I mean, Cameron Tringali shows up again just because of his course history. 4 top 20s, 2 top 10s in the past 5 years, which is pretty incredible. That guy just seems like a guy who just picks his favorite course and plays it well, and then kind of screws around the rest of the season.
Yeah.
But he's definitely not a guy I would recommend. Danny Lee's came back-to-back top 25s here. I don't mind Danny Lee, but definitely more of a GPP option than cash game.
Yeah, same on both those guys. GPP for me. It's
Steve. I'll answer your question here. Hoffman after his win last week. I wasn't on Hoffman last week at all, so shame on me. Definitely could have used him instead of Phil. But I mean, his current form is pretty. He can't argue with a 14th and then a first. But I just rather pay up for Rose, or like what Chris said, just pay down for Billy Horschel there.
Yeah, after coming so close for so many weeks in a row there and just blowing it on Sunday, like ranked like something like outside the 200th in final round scoring, and then to finally come through with that win, you could just see how happy he was there. His fist pump to finish it off on the 18th rather than go to a playoff. I just think he's going to have a letdown. I may have one GPP lineup with him, but it's almost a full fade for me.
Yeah, when the pricing goes Day, Rose, Fowler, Charlie Hoffman, it's just
it doesn't seem right.
Yeah,
could be. I mean, could be low owned because of that. Like you said earlier on, he could be low owned because of that, because of the guys that are around him.
Oh yeah, he'll be low. Like I said, I think just people are kind of just tired of chasing that win, and they got it, and now they're going elsewhere.
Yep. Find the next guy.
Because Brandon Grace was pretty low owned last week, and he was coming off a win, and just kind of people don't really project the back-to-back wins. Kind of tough to predict.
It's tough enough to win one.
Yeah.
And then under that we got Lovemark and On. I know I've got them both as GPP guys. Not really looking at them in cash.
Yeah. I'm on the same boat there. Although Lovemark's he's a good scorer. He just kind of a little wild with the accuracy off the tee, and I think he struggled at the RBC, which is another Pete Dye designed course. So maybe not the best suit for his style of game. Kind of more of a bomber.
Yeah, agreed.
And he's missed 2 cuts here, so you can definitely kind of cruise over him for cash at least.
Yeah, for cash, I've cruised all over the rest of the 8K guys. Charles Howell is actually the only guy in the 8K range that I've got pegged for cash this week.
Yeah, and just like what we said before, when you put in Justin Rose, you kind of forced to cruise over this area. If you definitely can't put 2 guys in. Then
there's not a lot of. If you're into course history, I mean, there's not a lot in that 8K range. Below Lovemark missing those 2 cuts on Kazire. Hanley Woodland's got a 64th in 2013, but other than that, nothing in the last 5 years. So Woodland seems like a really good price at 8K though. He seems like a really. I'm gonna have probably 25% of Woodland in GPP this week.
Yeah, that might be. He'll probably be pretty low owned, and he can get it done. I don't. I'll try and plug him in, but I'm not gonna go out of my way
Not
to.
safe.
Yeah. All right. You want to get down to the
Get in
long
this.
list of $7,000 guys here?
Yeah, I got a lot of check marks for cash here. First
All right.
guy right
Start
on
us
my
off.
yeah my first guy on my list is Ben Martin. He's just got some good course or form. I mean, and he finished 15th here in 2014. Top 40 in birdies, does really well in the par fives. Hits a lot of greens. He just seems like he projects well in my rankings, like 12th I think overall this week, and he is 7,900. Your thoughts on him?
Yeah, he showed up 11th in mine, so I don't mind the play at all. If you, it's either him or Stricker for me. I kind of like Stricker this week too a bit. Um, I know he's not doesn't have the best tee to green stats or driving stats, but uh, he's done well here in the past, back in 2012 and 2011. But bit of a different golfer. I know last year around this time he came back from a back surgery. That's kind of been I've heard that chat in a few podcasts. So you can't really take his miscut from last year too seriously. Um, and he's got some decent current form, 2 top 20s in his last 5 events.
Yeah.
So those are both pretty solid options, but I was just giving the guys maybe another take. But I do like Ben Martin. This whole field is this whole area is pretty rich with guys. So I'm kind of skipping all the guys at 78,000 or 7,800, Badley, Barnes, and Weekly. None of those guys really do it for me this week.
Got a little bit. I like Badley a little bit. He helped me last week, and he's got a 29th there last week, and then 2 top 10s in his last 3 before that. He scores. He's a good scorer, good putter. Par 4 scoring is also top 20. So I've got him pegged as a cash game play. But other than that, in that 7,800 range, I've definitely gone down. My next guy is O'Hare at 76.
Yeah.
I know
I'm trying not to roster O'Hare, but I don't know, he's kind of screwed me twice, so maybe I'm holding it too hard against him. But yeah, he's definitely a Pete Dye specialist, is what I've seen like people talk about him as, and came 12th here last year. So hopefully a good bounce back spot for him after the miscut at the Heritage, and maybe a bit high. Priced a little too high for some people's liking, so
yeah.
he come in with a little higher, lower ownership, especially in cash games.
And when looking at 50-50s, double ups versus head-to-heads, he would be more of a head-to-head play for me versus a 50-50 double up lineup. There's a lot of other guys in this range I'd rather take for safety.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't see O'Hare being that highly owned, but he's still fairly safe.
Yeah.
There's another guy down here, Jamie Donaldson. He's ranked pretty highly in the world golf rankings. His stats don't really check out well, but that's probably just because he hasn't acquired a lot of. There's not a lot of data.
Accumulated a lot of rounds. Yeah, exactly.
But he plays in the top events, and he finishes well at all those events. So
terrific putter.
At 7,600, you're not getting a top 40 ranked golfer in this range. So kind of like we've seen in the past, these Europeans come over. He's kind of like Byung Hung An, just kind of not really talked about, and like the odds makers don't really like him that much. But worldwide, they're good golfers. They just don't have the track record in America.
Yeah. Right below him would be my favorite play for cash this week in the 7K range is Canadian of the Week, David Hearn.
Yeah, I love him this week.
Checks out on all the stats, and he's made 6 out of 6 cuts here in his career. T46 his first year, but top 25 in 3 of the last 4. T6 last year, so he made 3 of his last 4 cuts. He definitely projects high for me and is on my main lineup with Rose. He's the next guy I went to.
Yeah, he ranks up pretty well for me too. I like David Hearn a lot this week. Just seems to be able to make the cut here. Um, and then I think I could be wrong on this, but I think he used one of the anchored putters in the past few years, and then he kind of struggled at the beginning of this season, but he seems to have turned it around this year recently with some pretty high finishes. So I think he's kind of over that adjustment period, and hoping for another cut from him, another made cut from him this week.
Yeah, he's definitely there for me.
7,500, that's nice. Yeah.
You looking
and a
at
couple old guys there. I don't know if I'm probably not gonna play Jerry Kelly this week. Kind of tired of him, but another cut maker.
Yeah, he's kind of, with his current form, he's kind of trending out. He after 33rd, 21st, 45th, 65th, he seems to be getting tired, old man tired. So
we'll pass on him.
I've kind of gone at a void on him altogether this week. I'm going right below him, the Luke list again. We had him on our lineup last week, and like Zach said, he fantasy golf degenerates heard it there first, and I remember hearing about him there, and it was awesome. He's been doing really well this year, and he finished 31st here back in 2013 as well. So
yeah, I like List and Hearn are probably my two favorite plays from this range. And I'm not picking Ches Reavie this week. I'm sick of him.
He hurt my feelings last week.
Yeah, and he hasn't made a cut here in his last 3 trips, and a 70th in 2011. So, I mean, the stats kind of they always seem to line up with this guy. But
he's playing really well this year, except for last week.
Yeah.
But
they always have those one tournament where they weren't feeling it. But yeah, no Ches for me this week. I'm going List.
Yeah, I like the List and Hearn over Reavie this week in that range. So, and then going below that, I'm kind of going over Blixt and going to, I like Ha and Stanley this week. Both have, Ha's finished 48th here in 2015, Stanley 52nd in 14, and got a 3rd place back in 2013, and both have pretty good current form as well, making 4 of their last 5 cuts. So at 7,300. I prefer Ha over Stanley. He's got better proximity stats, as well as you look at the bogey avoidance and scrambling. There's a big difference there. Not that those are super important this week, but the difference between the two definitely, stats-wise, sends me to Ha over Stanley. But I think both are decent plays this week.
Yeah, that difference between the bogey avoidance, like you said, and that'll definitely translate to some DraftKings scoring. So I don't think I ever really look at Kyle Stanley, but I do like Johnny Ha this week. Johnny question mark. This whole area, you could build I think you could probably build a pretty solid cash lineup with this.
And leave a bunch.
Leave a bunch
on the
table. A ton of cash on the line. Yeah. Got to talk about Zach's boy, HV3. Probably maybe not the best cash play, but definitely a good a GPP play. He finished well last year, or last week, sorry.
Yeah, he played really well last week.
And I had a few shares of him, so that kind of helped. It was nice to see.
I like the 2 guys below him. Another old guy in Glover. He hits on all the stats. He hits a ton of greens. He's accurate off the tee. His proximity stats are good. Everything but his putting, really, and par 3s, it kind of doesn't check out. But he made the cut here 4 straight years, even though 3 of them are outside of 60th place and 1 top 5.
60th.
So, but
at 7,200, you're definitely hoping for a bit better than 60th. But
yeah, top 50, top 40, somewhere in there. But
yeah,
again, if you can get 6 guys that make the cut in this range, you can take that too.
Yeah,
cool.
I like Glover a lot. I mean, like I said, I'm avoiding putting kind of this week. I think he can hopefully figure it out this week and roll a few in. But his stats check out. Now he's 6th in my rated stats ranking and 18th overall. So definitely a good discounted guy here in the low 7,000s.
Yeah, and his Just putting's what keeps him from getting those top finishes. I think in 2013 is the year that he actually had a really good putting year here, and that's why reflects the top 5 finish. So, but he does enough with his tee to green to definitely and make some birdies to at least make that cut for sure.
I haven't looked what have the cut lines. I haven't looked this up. I probably should have. The cut lines been for the last few years here. Probably like minus 7, minus 8.
Yeah,
maybe not that high actually.
I'm not 100% sure myself either. That's one thing I didn't look at.
Hopefully Lucas can make a few birdies because his bogey avoidance is there. But if he's just 2-putting every green, then it's going to be a pretty frustrating week.
Yeah. And then below him, what are your thoughts on Colt Knost? I haven't really looked at him in a while.
Knost is out, I think.
Is he out now? Okay,
yeah, he went through. He's at an O on him, so I'm.
Perfect, because I had a question mark. I had a bunch of question marks around him. Pass. Anyone else in the 7K range?
For cash, guys. Probably not. Sendin screwed us last week, so I'm not going back there. I have a lot of recency bias for me, like working for me.
Yeah.
Johnny Vegas, go back to the well on him. He screwed us last week too. Another guy.
Yeah, I was GPP.
Highly on it.
And a lot of GPP lineups go up.
He's got good stats though.
Yeah. 36 here last year.
Yeah, I don't mind like Vegas for cash.
Wee Kim had a top 10 here last year, and he's made his last 5 cuts, worldwide.
Yeah, he's a cut maker. I like Wee Kim, and I'm hoping Will Wilcox can do the DFS world some good this week. He's on the Tour Junkies podcast, so hopefully some of that good karma rubs off on the players here. He's got us in mind this week going into the tourney, so let's hopefully he can pull through. He's playing for us. That's what I like to think.
Yeah.
Not for himself. What do you guys think of Retief Goosen?
Yeah, I was just pulling him up. Cash. No, he's top 30 his last 3 years. 6,500. 6,500.
Yeah, 6,500. So that, I haven't had to go that low yet in a cash lineup, but if you find yourself maybe with 2 of the higher priced guys, you can dip down to Retief Goosen, and he hasn't missed a cut in a while. Top 30 is like a top 30 this year is all you're looking for.
He hasn't missed a cut since the Farmers in January. So
yeah, so he's definitely a solid option if you don't want to put in David Toms or any of these other guys in the high 6,000 range that are generally GPP plays. Goosen's a good find down there.
Yeah, he definitely is. It's definitely a stars and scrubs. Like if you want to go Horschel and Rose, going down to Toms and Goosen, building one that way, that could definitely work, and then grabbing the rest of your guys in that 7K range.
Yeah, that could be a decent strategy there, because if you put Toms and like you said, Toms and Goosen, that's a lot of savings, so you can go back up to the $7,000 range. And
I'm gonna plug those first 4 in right now, because then that leaves you with $7,350 if you put Toms, Goosen, Rose, and Horschel in there. So you then go, pick your 2 guys in the 7K range. Yeah.
Hearn and someone.
Definitely a good.
Hearn and Glover, boom.
Yeah.
I think that should be able to get it done.
Yeah, that's a pretty good lineup actually. 2 6s, 2 7s, and 2 over 10,000. So
I feel like that. Yeah, that's kind of stars and scrubby, but also pretty balanced once you get down here.
Yeah, you look at the scrubs and Toms and Goose, and they both got good course history. So the scrubs there isn't many this week for cash, but the ones that are there seem like they're not as scary as it was last week. Yeah,
you got to get down into the low 6,000s before you're getting a little scared off on some of these guys. But yeah, Goosen. Another guy down here is Alex Cheka. He shows up pretty well in my stats, actually 9th. Just probably because of his par 4 and par 5 scoring averages, along with his bogey avoidance. Sorry.
Yeah.
And he's also a scorer on the par 3, so he's got good stats, but.
He scores on the par 3.
Did he withdraw, or is he injured? I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else.
Not that I'm not 100%. I have to search that now.
Oh, before you put Chika in, make sure he's not
Broken.
battling an injury or something. But yeah, he just showed up really high, so I feel like I have to use him this week.
Nice price at 63 too. So I mean, again, you could, if you want to go even more stars and scrubs, you could go check at Toms and Goosen and then go 3 of the higher
Geez.
guys. if you really want to risk it, but depending on that's would be again more of a head-to-head strategy for me than a 50-50 / double up strategy for sure, because the middle range going balanced. The last 2 weeks I've done both balanced and stars and scrubs, and I've missed on the stars and scrubs both weeks and hit on the balanced both weeks. So
yeah, so I feel like if that trend continues, I think we got to keep going balanced.
Yeah.
It's interesting though. The last 2 events have kind of been these kind of top-heavy events, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Heritage and then Texas.
When you only get 5 or 6 of the top guys in the world at these tournaments, yeah, it really brings up the price of your mid-level guys.
I'm counting down the days to the players because
2 weeks.
Yeah, these different looking fields are kind of getting tiresome. That's what I guess with the Masters, you get spoiled by the Masters, and then it's back to the regular tour guys.
Yeah, the schedule's getting good here. This summertime's coming. Getting really excited for you got the players, you got all the majors. It's going to be some really good fields and really good golf, and really good contests coming up.
Is there anyone you'd consider down in like the low 6,000, high 5? Yeah, you definitely shouldn't be down here.
No, I kind of
Dumpster
got
diving
them all.
territory.
The lowest I would go in there is Alex Cheka was the lowest guy I've got marked up for cash games this week. And to be honest, with what I've made so far with GPPs as well, I don't even think I'm going to be going there much on GPP either.
I always see Sung Kang's name and kind of, I don't know. Maybe it's because he had like a really solid start to the season. I'm just kind of hanging on to that, but I saw his name up at the leaderboard last week a bit too, and I think he kind of tailed off on the weekend. But at 6,100, I guess definitely more of a GPP play, but just kind of a name that has been up there in the leaderboards this season. And Henrik Norlander has phenomenal long iron stats. This guy must stripe his 3 irons and 4 irons because they're like, he's just a pure iron player. But
yeah, he's top 10 long procs. He's good.
High in greens and reg. All his proximity stats are like,
it just doesn't
15.
sink the birdies.
Yeah, he can't score on par. He's 4th in par 3 scoring average. That's crazy. And he came 15th here back in 2013. So.
What are your thoughts on? I guess one guy we kind of I forgot about 6K is Tim Wilkinson. He's kind of showing up on my model this week. He's made his last 2 cuts. His stats hit for sure. He's a good scrambler, bogey avoidance. He's just not going to make a ton of birdies, but I mean he's 6,000, and his proximity from the 125 is 6th, and 150 to 175 is 3rd. So I mean he's 9th in par 4 score, and he really hits well if you want another stars and scrubs guy. I don't have him in my lineup because
27th in my overall ranking. So it's tough to ignore something if you're trusting what your spreadsheet spits out here.
Yeah.
GPP play, but would definitely offer a lot of savings if you want to go. If you're willing to risk, a 5 or 6 lineup and maybe have 2 of the top 5 guys in your cash lineups, because I think that definitely helps. Kind of like I'm still stuck on going semi stars and scrubs in a cash lineup, just because if you have that winner, it just propels you over a lot of the other guys who are finishing top 20. And I kind of patted myself on the back because it was kind of a down week last week. I needed something to be happy about my Kuchar fade.
Yes.
I think he came like 25th or something in there.
42nd.
Just kind of like a typical Kuchar finish. And what was he? Sorry.
T42. Is that what you're talking? Gosh. His finish last week? Yeah, I had him on my main cash. if I didn't have 5 of 6, I was done because he was the highest priced guy on there, and he shit the bed on the weekend again, kind of just like another blah finish, make a cut, and just blah his way all the way through the weekend.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter what field he's playing, and he just kind of gets his paycheck and moves on.
Yeah, smiles, just
Um,
keeps smiling.
yeah, he's got the worst style on tour. I don't know if you've noticed that, but he's got like he'll throw together like a navy hat with a white shirt, brown pants, and like red belt. Like I don't know who dresses that guy, but I can't
Doesn't project for
do
winning at all.
it. I don't know. It just bothers me a bit.
Yeah. And
You guys, if you want to build a lineup here,
yeah,
we
for
haven't gotten
sure.
any questions tonight, so we kind of flew through that.
Another guy, actually, before we go, under 7 that I was looking at. I know we mentioned David Toms, another Canadian. I was on him last week. He almost did really well, but he definitely paid off his salary. Nick Taylor, with 21st, made his
Yeah,
fourth straight cut. 48th here last year, so he's got some experience here. Definitely considering him for cash. I don't have him on my main lineup, but he's definitely a guy you consider for sure. He's playing really well right now.
yeah, he was in one of the later pairings because I think he was finishing up before some of the leaders rolled through. I remember
Yep.
watching that there, holding up Reed in the fairway. Um, yeah, I like. Sorry, I'm just kind of reminiscing of last week. Yeah, I like Nick Taylor too, but um, doesn't have quite the track record you're looking for. You'd like to see a bit more, cuts made or whatever, what have you. But
For sure. Well, yeah, I guess we might as well make a lineup here. I've made a few while
I
we've
don't
been
know if I
going.
should enter this lineup into our cash game.
Yeah.
The one I entered the exact lineup we made last week. Yeah,
Okay, so
we'll
I
see.
started.
I'll see how I feel about it.
We might as well. We both agreed on Rose, so we're just going to slap him in there. And I went first last week, so I'll let you pick that second guy after Rose.
All right, I don't know what I want to do to you. What should I go here? I usually just like going rows and then going down to the bottom. And this week it's Tom's.
Yeah.
I think he's played here the most out of anyone in the like. He's played at this event more than anyone on tour. This is like his national tournament, like Mike Weir's Canadian Open.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta
Um,
get a Mike Weir reference in.
that's 3 weeks in a row. That's great.
Even when he's not playing, we'll probably chirp him.
Yeah. For me, then, I guess I'm probably going to go up to. We have an average left of 7,800 after that.
Such a nice average left.
So yeah, we're leaving it in that range. I'm gonna jump on David Hearn, get him in there. I know I got him in my main lineup, so far these top 3 are in my main cash lineup already. So this is good. This is looking good. So yeah, you
See
got
if
an
we can go
average of
for
8,000.
All right. I'll go Luke List.
List. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how Mike Weir. That's like some kind of weird respect to whatever he's done in the past. The fact that he's guaranteed to miss the cut or withdraw, it's
Yeah.
bad. I
You know
guess I
what?
don't know. They should just
Find
put him up in like 7,000 and just to toy with people.
find a bookie.
Make
You
sure
can
it's
take
low
that.
ownership 0. There's a few guys down here. Like I think this Benjamin Taylor guy. He's actually an LSU guy. And he played in the British Open last year. I looked at his numbers there. He started out with like an 80 and then he shot 73. So, I mean, the guy can play if you guys want a minimum price guy. He'd definitely help you fit Justin Rose and Jason Day into your lineup.
Which guy was that? Sorry, I missed you there. I was just
Ben
reading something.
Taylor,
Oh, okay, yeah, right, kind of at the bottom there. Oh, right at the bottom.
minimum price, yeah. It's
Okay.
either him or Chris DeMarco. It's a tough call.
I like the LSU narrative. I like Smiley. That's another reason I like Smiley Coughlin this week.
Yeah,
Another
there's a few in there, like
LSU alum.
Andrew Loop, I think, as well. He was pretty highly owned last week and kind of he screwed everyone over, so he could bounce back here.
Yeah, and then like you
Definitely
said, Tom's is
like
from Louisiana, so
Yeah. All right, back to this lineup. Sorry,
All right, it's up to me here. I got an average. Where was that?
8,300.
Yeah, I'm looking at two guys, either Howell or Martin. I think, yeah, I'm gonna go Charles Howell. It
Good.
leaves you with 7,900.
We can get
Get the
Martin in.
well, you can get them both. Okay.
There you go. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough for me. It's tough between Stricker and Martin, but I'd probably go Martin.
Okay.
So there it is.
Well, that
Did
is.
you type it out?
I got it typed. I'm gonna type it out right now. So we got
Some pretty short names in there.
Rose,
Thompson.
Martin.
Kern.
Oh.
I don't mind that. I don't know if I'm going to use it though.
It's one guy off of my main cash lineup this week. Rose, Martin, Howell, Tom's, Hearn list.
There it is.
I got a 6 out of 6 feeling with that one this week for sure. I mean, I like it that we can get Justin Rose in there. I just think he may not win back to back, but I think he projects up to be in that top 5.
Could you see yourself? No, probably not going Day. Didn't we did this for the Heritage too? We just kind of skipped over Day and then
Yeah.
one bad round kind of screwed him. But
Oh, that 80. That hurt. He was
came
doing
fourth
so
here
well
last year.
too. Yeah, we didn't really talk about Day. Just kind of, I mean, when you go Justin Rose and you get that course history and the current, Day's current form's good too. He's got 2 wins in his last 4. That's decent. I mean, yeah, it's pretty decent. But just that 700 can go down a bit. But with the guys that we see, and I mean, if you like going stars and scrubs, you definitely can with the guys that we mentioned in that sub 7,000 range. You can get 3 of them in and feel fairly comfortable with what they're going to bring to the table. You can go up to Day, but myself, it's Rose. I just settled on Rose. His proximity stats and everything. I mean, he just fits a little bit better here for me this week.
I don't know if we missed anyone. If we want to go back and talk a bit more about someone, but Freddie Jakobsen, no GPP.
Russell Henley.
Yeah, another guy.
Didn't talk about him at all.
No,
It's his first time here.
Dead range, yeah.
And
where did he come 5th?
Oh,
No, I don't know. Shell Houston, maybe?
Pull that up real quick. And
He's been trending in the right direction. Yeah, it was the Shell Houston and then 23rd at the Heritage. And then last week missed the cut. Yeah, I was rooting for him, but yeah. GPP play, maybe you can return to that form you was showing before the...
Chad Campbell, we kind of passed over. He's kind of got his stats kind of check out. He's top 20 in my stats model this week. But again, with Glover right up there, and then you can go up a little bit farther to Ha. There's just too many guys in that 7K range. I just haven't needed to go to him. There's 3 or 4 guys that I really like more in that 7K range, but he's definitely a guy on the list that we didn't talk about.
Chris, I'll let you take that question there of Billy Horschel.
Yeah, I definitely got him marked for cash this week. I do. I'm he's one of my. I'll have a ton of them in GPP this week, but I'm going to be doing a few head-to-head lineups this week just because I like the different combinations I put together of 2 or 3 high guys and a couple low guys. Plus, my main cash lineup will be a little bit balanced, kind of like the one that we just built. But for a few of the head-to-heads, I'm probably going to do 2 extra head-to-head lineups, and I know a Horschel Rose is going to be one I'm going to start with. He's definitely there. He's playing really good right now, and it looks like he's playing with some confidence. So I'm going to have him for sure.
Yeah, if you for some reason can't find the savings on Rose or Day or whoever your top guy is, or even want to put in Horschel with one of those top guys and use some of the lower $6,000 guys that we talked about.
And it seems weird though, because I mean, mostly last year, I mean, I didn't consider Horschel ever for cash games, but just looking at his recent form, you get guys that are just getting those grooves where they just are very confident out there. making shots, making birdies. I just like to ride them while they're doing good until they show that they're, you know, jumping off and making, a ton of bogeys, getting in a lot of trouble. So
Yeah, he's played a lot of golf recently, but I feel like that could be just because he's playing so well. You just kind of want to keep it going. He's played
yeah,
this will be his fourth tournament in a row after a little bit of a break. But when you're rolling hot, you may as well keep playing and keep cashing in.
keep bringing those dollars home.
Hopefully, he helps us out. Hopefully, he helps you out if you use him. I'll probably have him some GPPs. And we kind of grazed over Berger. Definitely, I like him this week, but extremely high priced for Daniel Berger. But recent form, came sixth last year, good stats, so a good GPP play that hopefully people kind of cruise past just because of
The high price.
tag. Yeah,
I'm hoping so too. I'll have a lot of him. Built a lot of GPP lineups, starting with like a Horschel Berger or Berger Rose. Fowler's another one I think could be low on, like a Berger Fowler. I think could be a really low combination for GPP this week. Kind of getting off topic of the cash here, but definitely GPP. If you're looking for that low ownership, I really think Fowler and Berger together could be a good start. But yeah, Berger coming in really good form. T10 at the Masters. You got T5 before that at the Shell Houston, T11 at the Valspar. So he's playing really well. But yeah, that just seems like a really high price for a second-year player.
yeah. Kyle Reifers, another guy that in that low $7,000 range that it's gonna be interesting to see these ownerships. Like I probably say that every week. I feel like that's my favorite line. But there's you can spread your ownership across these low $7,000 guys. Sorry, and I don't know who's gonna be the most popular. I feel like Jonas Blixt will be extremely unpopular. No one really knows who he is, but he can pump out some decent results. Previous champion here, Seung-Yeol No. Nailed that Korean name.
Yeah, that
Another
was
guy
good.
that'll probably be overlooked. And Patrick Rogers, maybe another guy. He's not really showing the form that you're looking for, but his stats check out.
He hits a
Again,
ton of greens for sure.
yeah.
Lots of birdies.
So
But yeah,
that
those guys you just mentioned are going to be low on definitely, because I mean you got Luke List and John Ha, and then Lucas Glover, you got him there as well. I mean you got those guys that are people look to and maybe know the names, whether it be recent
right.
form or Glover with his course history here. Those other guys are going to be super low on like 5% or less in cash games. And he would be proud of you.
Kenny, you can make a full Korean lineup this week that is pretty solid.
Yeah, I agree. Other than that, I don't see anybody else that we didn't touch on. Any other questions? Just flip up here and look through that. No, that's about it. So
Chris, did you get in this? What they're saying on Twitter is the toughest $5 in golf.
no, what's
I,
that all about? I must have missed that.
it's a thing that I guess
Oh,
the guys at Project Roto are doing. I just kind of like some of the bigger names are in it. It's gonna be
the $5
interesting.
tournament, winner take
Yeah,
all type
yeah,
thing on DraftKings.
yeah,
Oh, I'll have to check that out.
yeah. Just look for his. He'll send out a link
Oh
next
yeah,
week. It's just kind of
I seen it under the moose here.
yeah. It's just like you cruise through it, and it's like everyone who fills my timeline on Twitter. It'll be fun.
I'll have to get on that. I'm sure it's full with
Yeah,
only.
it's full now.
I think
I mentioned he should do like because he's gonna keep track of everyone's results and points earned on like the field or whatever. But
Oh, okay,
I mentioned he should do like a little relegation round, so like the bottom 5 guys get booted for the next week or something.
that's cool.
We'll
Yeah,
see if he does it. I doubt it, but yeah,
yeah. So lineup lock. We got about 9.5 hours, so that makes. I can't figure out the math here at the moment. Looks like it's going to be early in the morning for me, that's for
8
sure.
a.m. I think Eastern time.
Oh yeah, that's 6 a.m. my time. So yeah,
Oof.
definitely be finishing my lineup as soon as I'm done this and getting them all in, and going from there because I will not be waking up that early to set up my lineups.
Yeah, I got all mine in. So
But yeah, as for this week, if you haven't read the article, you can head over to dailyfantasysportsrankings.com to check out my article for the week. And Eric, where can we check your stuff out?
I'm writing for. Luckily, Zach asked me to write some things for Fantasy Golf Degenerates. It's just a blog post that I put up every week. I'm trying to find a link here for it, but it's on my Twitter feed.
That's over at sportsblog.com, I believe, right?
Yeah, I just kind of go through some of my guys that I like that week, and um, Danny Lee's my favorite contrarian play in that $8,000 range, and then I have a Canadian of the week in there. Sometimes it's a little tough to pick, but Hearn is this week.
Yeah, I like two of them this week, definitely with Taylor and Hearn. So, but yeah, it's usually pretty tough, but we're lucky this week. Right on. But yeah, if there's nothing
Yeah,
else,
I guess that's it.
good luck to everybody. And if you have any questions, definitely hit either of us up on Twitter for cash game questions or anything. And we will see you next week. Peace.
Good luck, everyone. Thanks.